Alright guys, welcome to this video where I am just going to share with you every Stephen King book that I have in my collection. I've been collecting Stephen King books for only about a year and a half or so, but I was like pretty heavily invested into doing this, especially over this past year. I believe I have about 60 of them, so I'm just going to go through them. The paperbacks and kind of the whatever ones I'll just really quickly show you, and then that's it. But I do have a few cool ones, and I have like some really good thrift hauls. Really kind of one really good thrift haul that I want to share with you. And yeah, so this is every Stephen King book that I have currently, and I know that I'm missing a few really key ones like Gerald's Game, and there are some other ones. If you see any notable ones that are missing, please let me know. And here we go. I got to get them all down first, so I'll speed this part up. All right, so these are them, and yeah, oh man, as I did that, I realized that it's too many. I have too many, and I'm so scared this is gonna fall, this stack right here. It is wobbly, but that's okay. A big part of the reason I'm doing this video is because it's an excuse to reorganize my Stephen King section on my shelves. It's really disjointed and nothing makes sense, so I'm happy to be doing this. I think I'm gonna have to just put these after I show them down here. I think that's the move. Here we go. I'm going to save, like, I know this is kind of like a YouTube-y thing. Like, I'm going to save the best one for last. So I'm going to make you watch this whole thing. I'm going to do that. I'm sorry. Best one's going to be last. You might already know what it is. And if you do, you know what? You just don't have to watch this at all unless you want to. First one here, Under the Dome. This is just a paperback. No big deal. I'll show that one there. This is one that I haven't read yet. This is on the TBR. The flop on this one is absolutely incredible. Love the flop on that. Under the Dome. I'm going to have to go a little faster here. Otherwise, this is going to be a 25-minute video. This is Cycle of the Werewolf. I really enjoyed this one. This is just a really, really quick one with some great illustrations in here. Really, really cool illustrations. This one's actually from the library, I'm just realizing, and I have not returned that. And it's been a minute. I think they actually sent me a notice. Anyway, moving on. This is just a paperback of Billy Summers. I've not read Billy Summers yet, but I just thought that paperback was really, really cool. I actually like that so much more than the hardcover version. Really, really just nice design, and I was like, yeah, I want it. So I got it. Now, this is a first edition of Pet Sematary. This is one of the more special ones because it is one of my favorite Stephen King books, and I mean, that cover is just so cool. You know what I mean? I love this, the look of this so much. I want a poster of this on my wall. And, you know, just to have a first edition of it is nice. Because, again, it's my favorite, one of my favorite Stephen King books. And, yeah, pretty. Okay, moving on. We're going to get there. This is If It Bleeds. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this is a sequel to... Is it a sequel to Pet Sematary? I've not read this one. I think it has something to do with Pet Sematary. I can't actually be certain, but there's that. This is just a paperback, no big D. Now, how about we get into my best thrift store find of all time? Now, this was actually like quite early on into my Stephen King collecting journey, and so wasn't even really sure what I was getting, but I was like, this seems good. And I've been chasing that high ever since when I realized it was like an actually really good find, because I got they're pretty much all Dark Tower books. And in fact, I'm pretty sure they're all Dark Tower books. But I got Stephen King's The Wind Through the Keyhole, hardcover first edition. Just really, really good condition. And I believe what happened here is someone just dropped off their entire Dark Tower collection, or someone had a fight and they were like, oh, I'm getting rid of these or something. I don't know what happened, because we also have a first edition Wolves of the Calla, really good condition as well. Just really pretty. This is one I'm excited to read. I got to read Wizard and Glass before I get to this one, but looking forward to that, because the illustrations in some of these books are wild, absolutely wild. Here, I'll show that a little better. Sorry. Wolves of the Calla. Cool. Now, this was like I'll save that one actually. We also got a first edition of Song of Susanna. Or this one might be the second printing. I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure that's a first edition. Song of Susanna. Real nice condition on that one as well. And this was all one find. I walked in and they were just there. And I was like, wow, this seems good. And was there another one? Okay, this might have been the last one. Now this one, I was like, this seems like it's probably pretty good because it was in like in safety. It's got this like safety plastic on it so that the cover doesn't get damaged, and it is into it is the Wastelands, book 3 in the Dark Tower series, and it's this alternate cover, this like special edition cover, I guess, with Charlie the Choo Choo on there, and it's such a sick cover. And I remember looking into it, and it's actually like a more sought after Dark Tower book. Like I want to say this one goes for 100, 150, 200 Canadian, and I got it for $3. So I was really psyched to find that because I would not be spending that to otherwise attain this one. Come on, come on. But yeah, just a really, really cool cover. One of my favorites in my collection. And that was all just one thrift store find. So that was a good day. That was a good day. And I felt a little guilty because I think someone came in right after me that also was looking for books and saw my little like shopping cart. And they were like, you know, but whatever. Okay, so moving on. We got more Dark Tower books. We got Wizard and Glass. This is a really chunky one. This is part of their collection that they did where like the spines all kind of match up. You can buy the full box set if you want. I didn't. That's the next one I got to read, and I can't wait to continue my Dark Tower journey. I've got the Wastelands here, which is that special cover, but this is the no, that was hey, actually, what is that? That's Brett Hull hockey card, Canada. Okay, so Wastelands. This is my. I struggle with what so far is my favorite Dark Tower book. It's between this one and the Drawing of the Three. I'm actually probably going to say the Drawing of the Three is my favorite right now, but the Wastelands is incredible. Drawing of the Three. Gunslinger, least favorite. Thought I was going to stop reading the Dark Tower after the Gunslinger because I was like, I don't know what just happened. But I'm so glad that I continued. We got a first edition of Cujo here. This is a book I actually haven't read yet, which I feel quite guilty about because you'll see soon. Cujo first edition. And we got the Langoliers. This is kind of that. I think they'd released a whole bunch of Stephen King books in this cool kind of font, and I'd love to get more of them. But Langoliers is one that you really don't really hear a lot about. So when I saw it, I was like, heck yeah, we'll get that. Got the Institute paperback, no big D. This is the Billy Summers paperback. This is like the first release. You can see the difference in the cover as compared to the mass market one, which I'm not going to pull out because it's now at the bottom of a pile. But I feel like the mass market one, the design is just so much nicer. We got The Outsider. That's a cool cover. Upside Down Man. Have not read that one. We've got Mr. Mercedes. I've not read any of the Mr. Mercedes trilogy, and I want to because I want to read Holly. I hear good things about it. But I also hear that some Stephen King fans are kind of like, let's get away from Holly. Let's get some new stuff, which I can understand as well. We got Later. That's a short one. We've got Rita Hayworth and the Shawshank Redemption. That's a really fun, quick read if you're looking for a quick one. And if you like Shawshank Redemption, you'll be blown away that they were able to make that amazing of a movie based on this really quick short story. This is one that I found in Buffalo when I went to Buffalo. I live close to Buffalo, so it's nice to go there. This is the Green Mile, the whole six books, right? Yep, the whole 6-book set. That's the one I wanted. I didn't want to get the all in one. I thought reading this in parts was going to be a lot of fun, so happy to have that. It didn't have the case. It's just in a band, but I think it was like $5, so that was a fun find. We got On Writing. Again, no big D, just paperback. Great book. Read it twice. Loved it. We've got Salem's Lot. This is one of those books where I love this book. And it's one of my favorite Stephen King books. And this is the only copy that I have, and it's kind of a bummer. You know what I mean? As a Stephen King collector, I'd like something a little nicer. But, actually really good flop on that one as well, so can't complain. Salem's Lot, it's a classic. Second book he ever wrote. Can't go wrong. Cell. This is a hardcover edition of Cell, which I hear is quite awful, actually. I think a lot of Stephen King fans aren't really huge on that one. I have a Stephen King quiz book. This is really, really fun, but it only goes until 1989, I think. So it's all books pre-1989, which is fine. A lot of those are kind of really good. But that was kind of just a fun thing that I got because it was fun. We got The Dark Half. I don't know a single thing about The Dark Half, if I'm honest, but there's that. I gotta make a new pile. We got The Tommyknockers, which is widely considered his least favorite book. Not his least favorite book, but like the least favorite Stephen King book. I think, some people love it, but it does seem to be like one of the more hated ones. That and Under the Dome, surprisingly. I've not read either, but I hear that Under the Dome the story of it, like I'm excited for that one. This is Lisey's story. This is actually one of Stephen King's favorite books that he's ever written. He was on a talk show and he talked about the top 5 books that like his favorite. I think this one's really personal to him, and I can't wait to read that Lisey's story. You don't really hear a lot about that one either. But excited. This is it. The dust jacket is downstairs. I've just never put it back on. But it, I mean, yeah, one of the greatest books ever written, I think. We have The Sleeping Beauties, the book he did with his son, Owen King. I've not read that one either. I'm saying that a lot, but I have read a lot of Stephen King. It's just, anyway. Sleeping Beauties. No big deal on that one. Let's get into this hippie tower because I'm scared. We got a hardcover. I believe this is the first edition of Dr. Sleep. It's in pretty rough shape. It's got stickers and goo all over it, but this book is incredible. If you like The Shining, you got to read Dr. Sleep. Probably one of the best sequels ever. Like, it's really, really good. We actually have another copy of it here. This is a paperback. I can't remember why I have both. I think one was gifted to me. Real okay flop on this one. I had to crack it, but I was expecting like a book this thick, but like kind of this big was going to have some real nice natural flop. Not so much, but like I already said, one of the best books ever written. We have got from a Buick 8, which I actually hear is really, really good. I'm excited to read from a Buick 8. Those who have read it that I trust say that it's actually really quite good. I'm trying to go faster, guys. I'm sorry. We got Hearts in Atlantis, hardcover, whatever. Moving right along. We got Holly, of course. Had to get Holly. I'm a new reader. For those that don't know, I've only been reading for about a year and a half. So Holly was one of kind of like the first Stephen King releases that I was like our Stephen King fan for. So I was like, well, I got to get it. Obviously, got to go get this right away. We have Bag of Bones. This is one that I'm actually quite psyched to read. The story sounds incredible. Someone was nice enough to send this to me. So I thank you a billion times over for that because it's a really beautiful copy. And the story just sounds right up my alley. So looking forward to that one. Skeleton Crew. This is just a really cool cover, kind of in line with the Langoliers with that kind of font there. Really like that release that they did. I don't know if that's focusing, sorry. But yeah, that's just that's another kind of postery one that I'd like to have. This is a illustrated edition of this is the Dark Tower, the Guns. I don't even know what this is. The Gunslinger Born. It's some Dark Tower thing. I just saw it and was like, well, I've never seen that before, so let's get it. We have another copy of The Wastelands. This one is really cool. This is actually the one that I read because it's old and floppy and just lovely to read. And so that's that, The Wastelands. Lots of Dark Tower books. Misery. Once again, that cool font. And Misery is hands down one of the greatest books ever written. One of my favorite books of all time. And I would love I like that cover quite a bit, but I'd love like a first edition of that book or something like that because it's so one of my favorites. We got Eyes of the Dragon. This is the first edition. Also found this one in Buffalo, actually. And this is a great book. If you love fantasy and you're kind of like, I don't know if I'll like Stephen King, give The Eyes of the Dragon a shot. It's really good. Doomickey, hardcover Doomickey. Very mixed feelings on Doomickey. Some people love it, some people hate it. We got Black House, collaboration with Peter Straub, and I've not read the Talisman yet, so obviously haven't read this one either, but happy to have it. We got Insomnia, one of the bigger, chunkier books in the Stephen King world. Kind of a whatever cover, you know what I mean? Of all the covers, it's probably the least interesting, but at the same time, kind of its differentness is makes it different. I don't know. It's whatever. We got Dreamcatcher. You know what? I mentioned that the Tommyknockers and Under the Dome were his two most hated books. Dreamcatcher might be up there. A lot of people don't like Dreamcatcher for some reason. I don't know why, but that's just the way it is. We got another copy. Oh, no. Sorry. This is Bazaar of Bad Dreams. This is just a mass market of Bazaar of Bad Dreams. Wowee. Another mass market of The Stand. This is like one of the earlier releases that doesn't have all the extra stuff in it. And yeah, it's kind of a cool cover. It's really beat up, which I like, so that's fun. We have Christine. Surprisingly, I have not read Christine yet. That's probably one of the bigger ones that I've not read in the Stephen King universe, but excited to get into that whenever I do. The Dead Zone is going to be a book I read this year for sure. That's definitely on the Stephen King list for this year. Dead Zone. you know, kind of a whatever copy. Also, kind of a whatever copy of The Talisman, which I already mentioned I haven't read yet. Looking forward to this one. I love the first edition hardcover, like the look of it. But yeah, this is fine. It's fine. It's whatever. We're moving along. We got The Dark Tower. The Dark Tower 6. Oh my gosh, I forget. I don't know Roman numerals, but it's this one. I really love that cover of Roland, and I just think it's kind of fun. You know, I really like those releases that they did, and I'm happy to have them. This is another Buffalo find. This is also one of my favorites in my collection. It is The Drawing of the Three, book 2 in the Dark Tower series, first edition. I just love that cover. I think that is so fun and so unique. And that's, again, another kind of postery one. I'd love to have a poster of it somewhere, you know what I mean? We have the book club edition of The Stand, which is kind of fun, but again, doesn't have the extra stuff in it, I don't believe, but also just a really cool original cover. And if you're a Stephen King fan, you see those figures and you're like, oh man, yeah, you're just transported immediately. We got 11/22/63. That is a first edition hardcover, favorite book of all time so far. We got Fairy Tale here. Fairy Tale is awesome. I really liked Fairy Tale, and that's Fairy Tale. If you, again, fantasy. If you're a fantasy person and you want to kind of get into Stephen King, hey, Fairy Tale. It's in the name. Rose Matter. Have not read Rose Matter, so that's another. I feel like you don't really hear a lot about Rose Matter either. We got The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon. This is one that's recommended to me a lot. It's a quicker, shorter read, and the people who love this one love this one. There's actually people that say it's their favorite Stephen King book ever, which says a lot, I think. We got Nightmares and Dreamscapes. This is actually another one that I should have included in that thrift haul. This was the other one that was in there. So again, that thrift haul was just crazy, and I've just been chasing that feeling ever since. Now, this is kind of cool. We got Desperation and the Regulators, and they are the covers that line up together. So one of these is by Richard Bachman, who is also Stephen King, and by Stephen King. So let's line them up together. I'll see if I can do an okay job of that. Let's see, it's probably right around there. How's that? So cool. Whoever designed that, genius. I love that so much. That one, I don't know why I keep talking about posters. I guess I just love posters, but that would be a sick one to have, like, one poster and then the other one right beside it, like separated but together. You know what I mean? So you can kind of see. Okay, we got a lot of paperbacks here. We're going to go through really fast. We got The Shining, The Long Walk, sick book, Dolores Claiborne, Eyes of the Dragon. I don't know why I have two of those. Got The Shining, again. Awesome book. Shining rules. Love The Shining. We got Stephen King Goes to the Movies. I believe this is like a review book that he did. I have not looked into that. Carrie. Gotta have Carrie. This is the only copy of Carrie I have, which is kind of a bummer. I really don't like this cover at all. But Carrie's, hey, it's the first one. You know, you gotta read it. It might not be my favorite, but you gotta read it. I have another copy of The Wastelands. This is a mass market beat up one. I don't know. We got The Gunslinger mass market PB. That one's just kind of cool. I was just like, saw it and I had to have it. This is kind of cool. We got a box set of called Stephen King Short Fiction. I had to have this. It's got The Mist, Apt Pupil, The Body, and The Sundog in it. And anytime I'm feeling like I need to read a short story, I go here. Although I've only read The Body, but I'm reading The Mist this month, and I can't wait for that. Now, we've only got 2 left. Thank you for sticking it out with me. I know this is kind of like a weird video, but I was just kind of excited to share the Stephen King books I had. And I was going to reorganize my shelves anyway, so it's like kind of an excuse to do so. As I said, we have this beautiful copy of The Stand that someone so graciously sent me. This thing is just gorgeous. And, you know, I just love it. Gold edges. It's got the kind of biohazard chemical signs on the inside. It's got the crow on the back. And just a beautiful copy. Now, for my favorite Stephen King book in my collection, I actually left it on the shelf here because I don't like it really mixing it. I don't want it to be in a stack or anything like that. I don't treat my books with a lot of care, but for this one, I somewhat try to. And it is a British first edition of Cujo paperback, which you might be thinking, like, a paperback's your favorite copy? That's weird. But when you open it up, it is signed by Mr. King himself. And I'm going to try and get there. it says, "To Dave, don't let the dog bite, Stephen King." I believe that's what it says. Best and don't let the dog bite. And he signed that in 1983 at a book signing in the UK. The seller who sold this to me had some provenance with it. He knew the bookshop owner who had Stephen King to his bookshop, and there are a bunch of photos of him doing the signings and stuff like that. And just a really cool one. It's got some cracking along the edges here, and it is a paperback, so it's, the condition is only going to be so good, you know what I mean? But just having a Stephen King signature is so that's my favorite one in my collection, obviously. And that will wrap it up. Now I got to put all these back. So that sucks, but we're going to do that now. Thanks for watching this one. I'm going to have the week 2 of Books Are Sick posted tomorrow as well. So, yeah, bye. Love ya. Mwah.